Hey, what's going on? This is your Stimulus Daily Check updated news. Billions of dollars in renter assistance that should be going out, that is available to people. There's about 46 billion in renters assistance for utilities and rents and all of that. Each state is going to set up differently as far as getting that billions out to everybody. Plus, each state has more stimulus. There's about 350 billion that was sent out to all the states. So there's a lot of money in these states that should be turning around and giving stimulus to people. There's about 10 states right now that are going to be sending out stimulus payments. Plus, Nancy Pelosi is bringing everybody back through back into the Washington, D.C. and trying to get the House of Representatives to vote on this $3.5 trillion stimulus plan. If you can believe it, that's a huge number. I mean, that's just massive government spending. They're going to borrow the money, they're going to print the money, but they're going to figure out a way to try to get this bill passed. $3.5 trillion. And what they're going to do with that is hopefully they're going to take that and give out more stimulus, maybe extend out a lot of the programs that are available right now. I think one of the plans they're trying to do is get that reconciliation process moved out of the way so that the majority of the people in the Senate will have the majority of the vote. So we'll have to see how that works. If they can get that done, the Democrats have about a year and a half to create bills and try to get them done if they can get that reconciliation process move forward. How does that affect you as people that want to get more stimulus? The American Families Plan is what President Biden is trying to push. He's trying to get this new plan set up, and he's trying to get this inside of this new giant bill. The American Jobs Plan has already been passed. It's an infrastructure plan, and this is something that has already been passed in the Senate, and this will get the monthly payments. Plus, there are monthly payments going out to everybody. There are monthly checks going out to about 40 million families out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover a lot of the details in this video for you. If you haven't done so already, you can ask some questions in the comments below. Plus, there is a red button. Click that button right there. You'll subscribe to the channel, and you'll get all the updated information about the new stimulus check, the third stimulus check, and the fourth stimulus check. So there was billions set aside in the American Rescue Plan to help out renters and people that were struggling with their 46 billion was to help renters with overdue rent and utilities. Now, a lot of the states and cities are actually dragging their feet with this. And the reason why is because they're adding a documentation that requirements that Treasury does not require. So the federal government gave these states and cities all this money and said, help these people out. Well, a lot of these cities and states are making it difficult for people to get this payment because of this documentation. The best thing you want to do is go back to your local housing authority and let them know that you don't need all this documentation, that the Treasury is not requiring all this documentation, that you need help, you need the support to get those payments out. So if you do have the ability to pick up some of this rent or utility costs, go to your local state housing agency in your area, and then you can find all the details on that. But again, if they set money aside, these people should be able to get this money. This is something that the eviction process looks like it's going to be extended out through December, and or actually October 3rd is when that's going to be ending. So it looks like some of the states have a lot of money. So for example, Illinois, up to $25,000 to pay off a maximum of 15 months of rent. Texas pay for 2 months of future rent and utilities. This is just an example of, so each state and each city in each state is going to have more funding available to renters, and they're going to be going through the local housing agency. But again, October 3rd is when the moratorium for eviction process ends, and then there's going to be a lot of people that probably going to get evicted, but they can pick up a lot of this extra help with rent, get those rent payments back, and then it'll save them from getting evicted. And so it's good news for a lot of the states in the United States because they received billions and billions of dollars. I'm a little disappointed that a lot of the states aren't turning around and giving stimulus checks, but if you live in one of these states, you might get set up with another stimulus. California right now is the only state, I mean, can you believe it, that is giving out stimulus checks. Each state was given money from the federal government to turn around and pay out to the citizens in some way. Now, each state is going to have different. So Irvine looks like $200,000 will be given to staff to return to the classrooms. Tennessee is giving out $1,000 for teachers and then $500 for part-time teachers. Michigan, $500 hazard pay to teachers. Georgia looks like $1,000 stimulus to part-time teachers or regular teachers, and then $500 for part-time teachers. Florida's giving out money to frontline workers, police, firemen, and also teachers in that area. Mexico is giving out $750 payments to people in that area. Maryland, same thing, $500 and then $300 for individuals who have earned income tax credit. Colorado's one unemployment payment, you get $375. So this is, it's good for a lot of states. Again, they're just sending out to the teachers. I think every state should be sending out stimulus payments, much like the federal government did in the $1,400. Like California sending out $600. I think each state could do the same thing. Colorado, Maryland, every state that's not on this could send out maybe $500 stimulus to those that qualify for it. So if you qualified for the federal stimulus plan, I think each state should turn around and pay those people out at least, $500-600 on that stimulus plan. So if you are in the state of California, it is good news. You will be getting a $600 check. I believe that's going out next month. That's going out to the people that qualify. They did send out payments to people that made under $30,000. And what they've done is they come out with a stimulus check number 2, or Golden State's 2, and that is going to be covering everybody up to $75,000. They said it's about 2/3 of the people in California are going to be receiving that stimulus check. Places like California received, I don't know, 35 billion in stimulus. They're going to take that money, return it to some of the people in that state. Texas received the same. They're like 35 billion. They could turn around and pay out a lot of money to the people in Texas. But it really comes down to the governors and the legislative people in that area. If you can reach out to them, say, hey, you got a bunch of money in the Treasury, bank accounts, why don't you turn around and give that stimulus out to people in your area? But you have to reach out to them, let them know that should be sent out. So the good news is with the Nancy Pelosi and the House of Representatives that they're trying to get this giant $3.5 million package or $3.5 trillion package done. And they're going to try to sneak in a lot of the stuff that's going to extend out these programs. So the child tax credit example. So right now, everybody who has children are receiving a monthly check, $300 for kids under the age of 6, and then $250 for kids between the age of 6 and 17. Each of these checks are going out every month. This is a recurring payment. This is people that do have children will receive these payments. This is going to go on through December, and then it ends, and then they'll give you the rest of the money in March. But this $3.5 trillion plan, they're going to try to get the American Families Plan in there. That's going to extend out the child tax credit out through the year 2025. That would be good news because a lot of people that have families would be getting that reoccurring payment. And I think they'll just do a reoccurring payment for everybody that has children. So it will pay off to have children over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, if you, I'm not saying go have children to try to get that payment, but if you do, at least you can pick up that stimulus payment if you qualify for that check. Now, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, that is going to be a lot of money that's going to be going out to jobs, roads, and just infrastructure plan stuff. I don't know if that money is going to really get to the hands of people, but I do believe that a lot of the areas for the green energy and things like that, if you wanted to change careers, jump into those areas because the federal government is going to start spending a ton of money into those, energy, the solar and the wind and all those things like that. They're going to spend a lot of money in that. And if you can get kind of in front of that wave of federal funding, it's going to benefit you the most. If you wanted to ever start a business or things like that, those are going to be the areas that I believe you should probably jump into because there's just going to be so much money created by the federal government. They're going to put that money into those accounts. Right now it's unfortunate that they're still using banks and they're using checks and all that to try to get benefits out to everybody. I think in the future, though, the Federal Reserve and they're the ones that are in charge of interest rates, and they're the ones in charge of taking the money, printing it, giving it to the Treasury in the form of Treasury bills so that the federal government can go out there and spend that money. But I think the Federal Reserve is starting to get frustrated with people that aren't spending the money. And so I think they're going to come out with some type of stable coin to try to compete with all the pressure that's happened with a lot of these other cryptocurrencies. But they're going to come out with something called Fed Now Coin, which is good news for those that want stimulus because I think they're going to put it in an app on your phone and then they're going to drop money into that app. But I think they're going to say, well, you have money on there, but you have to spend it in a certain amount of time. If they do that, that'll get the velocity of money turning quickly. That should, inflation will skyrocket like that, but it's going to be a fun experiment to see if they can pull that off. That would be the future, I think, of stimulus checks going forward. So if you have any questions, you can drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check update information for today.